And both him and Brandon Miller reaped the benefits going 1-2. Gotta love what Jewett did. Think about this. This kid transferred to USC, I think his junior or senior year. His fifth year, senior year got taken away because of COVID. He decides to go to school for 6th year in a row, and it's all for just an outdoor season. Indoor really wasn't part of his plan, and he put together the race of his life. He made going to school for 6 years worth it, ends it with a national title. Got to feel for Isaiah Jewett. And I think if Jewett can run like this, man, he could sneak into that 3rd spot at the Olympic trials. He has some U.S. trials, U.S. championship experience. Isaiah Jewett taking the win, 144. And Brandon Miller, he has proven that his AAU hype when he was doing crazy things at the age of 15, 14, he's fulfilling that prophecy right now, running 144, 145 as a freshman. Big ups for Brandon Miller.
144.68 for Jewett. 144.68 for Jewett. So the all-time list: Cerrone, Brazier, Career, Jim Ryan, Bryce Hoppel, McBride, Julius Akon, McBride again, and then it will be Jewett there right ahead of Mark Everett. So he moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th fastest unofficially there, and then Jewett not too far behind. We can put up that all-time list there to see where he'll slot in. And Brandon Miller's 144.97 looks like it'll just be outside that group, but there's obviously some names there of very successful half milers. You did call it. You did call it. By the way, good call. You haven't done like a call in like 4 years. you haven't left Austin. That might have been one of your better calls. Like,
wow,
you didn't screw up anybody's name, and your voice didn't crack. Like, you check both boxes. That's really all there is to it. You had me at the edge of my seat, even though I saw what happened 20 seconds before you did. So that was pretty good. Yeah, like, what do you do if you're Charlie Hunter in that situation? When they put that much pressure on you and you go out in 50-point, it's just so tough. Like, he had a good run there to get up and finish where he did, but it's tough.
You would think he would know that. I mean, not to think the way I thought. It's like, hey, Miller and Jewett, they almost didn't make the final. Like, Jewett and Miller almost didn't even make the final because their prelim was a 52-second opening 400. And Hunter knew he had the best kick because he's like, I can prove it. But hey, kicks don't mean much if you're back 10 meters. You can't close.
But what do you do? You run a PB. He ran a PB though, man. Like, I don't know what you do in that scenario.
You go for it. I mean, you go for it.
Well, yeah, but that's just not, your strength is not going out in 50. Like, that puts you in a tough spot. I guess you could go out hard the first 100, get the pole, and then try to slow it down a little bit. 7 of the 8 guys got PBs in this race. Continuing on with our theme of just aggressive running in the middle distances. Festus Legat, who got 5th with a 146.33, the only guy who did not set a personal best in this race.
So there was an impact on the team race after that. We had Texas scoring a bunch of points in that event. They didn't do as well as they thought they would do. They only had 2 points to take away from that. So as a result, LSU still in the lead with 76, Oregon with 44, Texas drops to 3rd with 39, and A&T right now in 4th with 38, USC there in 5th with 33. So it's looking good for A&T to get their first ever team trophy. Texas, under the helm of Edric Floreal, looking good to potentially get I think it'll be his first ever trophy coaching Texas, right? Texas hasn't gotten a trophy under Edric yet, right? I don't think so.
I believe that is correct.
Sure.
So we got we had a 6-minute break until the 4-meter hurdles. So we got 4 events left: 4 hurdles, 200, 5,000, and then the 4x4. Let's check in on the chat, shall we? Tampa Eagle says, tell Gordon the 76ers are dominating.
Yes, I got, thank you for that. I have the game cast here on my corner. I'm going to rewatch the entire game. If I know the results, like a 20-point lead, it's going to be the greatest 2 hours of just rewatching a game. Have you ever done that? Have you ever watched a basketball game knowing the result? Have you ever done that?
Yes. I've watched a lot of sporting events knowing the result. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
It's like a full game from start to finish?
Yes. It's emotionally less taxing, but it's also kind of fun. Like when if the team you're cheering against gets up like a big lead and then you see them
It's
celebrating
not going to
and
last.
then you think, little do you know how the tables have turned. People are dropping some 200-meter predictions in the chat as well. So if you got any predictions for the remaining 4 events, let us know. Any predictions about the women's events tomorrow as well? Any thoughts about the Olympic trials?
So
Literally anything.
I want to talk a little about this 800 again one more time. Speaking of the trials, Clayton, obviously we know Hopple and Brazier are going to make the team. There's that spot for third. Most people would say you got to give it to Clayton Murphy. He's proven it. But Murphy hasn't had like the perfect season for his 2021. He's run, I think, 145. He ran 143 in 2019, but I think he's only run 145 in 2021. And then he had a 147 and he's run a couple 1500s. Do you think there's any chance that one of these college kids, mainly Jewett, could upset Murphy and sneak a third spot?
Yeah, but I also think there's a good chance, Isaiah Harris could get in for that third spot. I think the third spot's open. I'm with you. I think Brazier and Hopple are going to get it done. Their PBs are obviously phenomenal, but they're just rock solid in the rounds, and they've shown good fitness this year as well too. Again, though, we do this all the time with the collegians, and sometimes they are able to carry it over and sometimes they're not. Now, this is a little different because it's boom, boom, outdoors, then right into USAs, which some people think is an advantage. I've heard some people say it's going to be tough because you don't have time to recuperate and come back off that physical and emotional strain that you had for your collegiate championships. But yeah, I think you'd have to consider Jewett. I think you have to consider Miller as well, and some of those other guys a little farther down who ran PBs, because we could be talking about this in a couple weeks and we could say, oh man, like Shane Strike, like where did he come from? Right? He ran 140, he ran 146 at the NCAAs and ran really well, right? I mean, there's other people I think who can factor in as well on the collegiate side. But Jewett and Miller obviously would be the names to watch. You have to like the aggressive racing style. So